Halo Campaign evolved Gears of War ED, both Unreal Engine 5, both Xbox first party. But your RTX 5060 laptop will run one at high and the other at medium. Same card, completely different result. And the reason has very little to do with raw GPU power. Straight answer, RTX 5060 laptop, Halo lands at medium, Gears lands at high. RTX 4070 laptop, same story, RTX 5070 Ti and above. That's where the 4K conversation starts, but the reason these games land in different tiers is far more interesting than the tiers themselves. Before we go any further, remember Oblivion Remastered when it launched? And honestly, remember how it still plays now. On the surface, it looked like a modern Unreal Engine 5 release, but underneath, it was still carrying legacy 2006 Cambrio engine code. That created a situation where the game wasn't really behaving like a clean native UE5 title. Modern rendering on top, older systems underneath. I'm not saying Halo is going to be Oblivion all over again, but when I see a modern game combining Unreal Engine 5 with legacy technology underneath, I pay attention because we've already seen what that kind of architecture can do to PC hardware. And that's where Halo and Gears start going in completely different directions. At first glance, these are both Unreal Engine 5 games, but underneath, they're taking very different approaches. Halo isn't just running UE5. Unreal Engine 5 handles the visuals, Lumen, Megalites, all the modern rendering, but underneath, a modified Halo Reach era engine still handles game logic, AI, and simulation. That means more CPU overhead, more memory pressure, and that extra overhead doesn't magically disappear because your GPU is faster. That's why Halo needs 16 gigabytes of RAM, whereas Gears ED only asks for 12. Same engine label, completely different realities underneath. Gears ED takes the opposite approach. The coalition built it native UE5 from the ground up. One engine, clean memory, no legacy systems layered underneath. So let's move to tier list, Halo first, and DLSS isn't optional here. It's part of the design target. RTX 5080 and above, top tier, high settings comfortably. A 5090 laptop can flirt with ultra, but sustained thermals become the limiting factor. RTX 5070 Ti and 4080 laptops, high settings at 4K becomes possible with DLSS balance of performance, but 12GB of VRAM is your ceiling. The RTX 5070 laptop, this is the medium tier. Same 8GB VRAM pool as the RTX 5060. You're getting smoother frame delivery, but not a higher settings tier. Now RTX 5060 and RTX 4070 laptops, medium 1440p high settings minus textures, that is texture stays at medium. DLSS balanced capped at 60 fps, and I suggest all laptop owners to cap at 60 fps. That helps with the thermals. The RTX 4060 and the 5060 laptops, this is the low tier, 1080p 60 with DLSS balance, still a very playable experience. Now when we come to ROG Ally, I'd wait for patches before jumping in, so I'm not commenting much on this. Now here's where everything changes. The Coalition have one of the strongest optimization track records in the industry. Gears 5 remains one of the best Unreal Engine games ever shipped, and ED is being built as a clean native UE5 title from the ground up. That changes the entire scaling curve. The RTX 5060 and the 4070 laptops, high settings at 1440p with DLSS quality. This is the tier I'm most confident about. RTX 5070 laptop, pushed towards near native, but 8GB VRAM could still be a bottleneck. The RTX 5070 Ti and 4080 laptops, 4K high with DLSS balance becomes a realistic target. The RTX 5080 and above, 4K high to ultra with DLSS quality. Now the RTX 4060 and 5050 laptops, 1080p high settings with the same overhead concerns Halo faces. ROG Ally potentially viable at 900p or 720p, low or medium settings, with FSR 3 at quality or FSR 4 if it is out. At performance, we need launch testing, but the outlook is significantly better this time. So here's the takeaway. Halo gives us one of the most detailed spec sheet of the year because expectations need managing. The architecture underneath creates real constraints that players should understand. Gears EDA took the opposite approach, a shorter spec sheet, a cleaner engine path, and a studio with a long history of extracting excellent performance from Unreal. 2 Unreal Engine 5 games, one you plan around, one you just run. I'll be benchmarking both on the RTX 5060 TUF F16 and the ROG Ally at launch with real frame times, real thermals, and real settings recommendations. Drop your GPU in the comments and I'll tell you exactly where I think it lands. I'll see you in the benchmarks.